Hello Leo, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of December 25th through 31st. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. I also do personal readings. You can get the information for those in the description box. You can become a member to the channel to get access to all of the extended readings. So what does Leo need to know? What is the most important situation that you're involved in? What is, foremost on your mind? What is the message coming through for Leo? Two of Wands. I feel like we've had the Two of Wands recently for you in one of your readings. But we're going to lay out our Dove and Serpent spread to see what else is going on, to put this all in some context. We're also going to do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, and we're going to choose today the Italian tarot deck. These are all pre-shuffled. So let's find our mystery card, and this is going to just go right over here. We're not going to look at that until the very end of the reading, okay? So stick around to the end. And hopefully that will, tie the reading together or give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the end, all right? So some fire, some major, some water, some air, some fire, some major, some air. So it looks like there's quite a bit of the air element today. There's not really a lot of the earth element. So I think today, this week is going to be kind of a big focus on grounding yourself, right? Like really taking some of these ideas from the abstract, from the theoretical, and bringing it down to practical applications, okay? So the first thing that we saw was that Two of Wands, all right? Now, I think that this is not so much a conflict with someone else, but maybe just a conflict within you. Okay, I think that there's kind of been something that's been pulling you away from what you thought your focus was, right? So it feels like there's almost a shift happening with you right now, okay? And I think it's something fairly general, fairly broad. I don't say general in like a, an impotent kind of way. I think this is a far-reaching shift, okay? I don't think it's any one particular thing. I think it's just kind of maybe reevaluating your life a little bit, okay? But I see with this Two of Wands that there are kind of two conflicting paths, two conflicting intentions or wills or passions or two conflicting choices, right? But they're two completely separate and distinct choices that are going to lead to just completely different finish lines, okay? So this isn't so much a choice of just between, what to have for dinner. This is a choice of what should I do with my life? What should I do with my power, with my energy, with my passion, with my heart? Two of Wands, sometimes about a choice like that, and it's in the suit of Wands. It's a fiery, creative, passionate, goes really deep, it's beyond your rational mind, it's beyond your emotions. It's something that you really feel in your heart and soul, right? So it kind of transcends just these kind of day-to-day choices. It's a far-reaching decision that you have to make, okay? And the reason why you might be in this situation this week could be because of the Seven of Swords. Now, this is futility. This is, you've had the one idea, you've been on one singular path. That's represented by that central sword, which would be the Ace of Swords, if we had an Ace of Swords here, which we don't. But I think in the past you were committed to one particular thing, right? I think you thought that was it. And you put all of your efforts into this one thing. But then slowly over time, these other little nagging swords came in and started, maybe it started as just some doubt, some thoughts of like, oh, well, what if I was doing something else? What if I went somewhere else? What if I became something else? Okay. And this could have been other people in your life, like maybe unwittingly planting some seeds of self-doubt. Be like, oh, wow, that's what you're doing. Oh, okay. Just little things like that maybe gave you this creeping suspicion that you need to do something else, or that maybe this isn't the right path for you. Not that you're easily swayed by others' opinion, But I think over time, it just built up in you, this feeling of, okay, I've got to maybe make a major shift with my life. And the seven here, especially the Seven of Swords, is showing us kind of the way to overcome those kinds of self-doubt, those kinds of thoughts, these other little daggers that are, attacking us, picking at us, poking at us, trying to dissect like our intentions or our plans. The way to triumph over that is really to just hold on to that central sword. Okay? That's really it. It's that inner resolve. And basically ignore everything else. But we don't see that central sword here. We don't see an Ace of Swords. So I think that you're in this mode now where you kind of you're starting to kind of lose your grip on that central sword. You know what I mean? You're just kind of, well, maybe I don't really want that. Maybe there is something bigger, better, greater, better for me anyway, through this changing energy. It's changing of the guard kind of thing. So it's kind of also with the Seven of Swords, it's this sense of you've been working at this for a while. It's not giving you the mental or intellectual satisfaction that you thought it would. But that's also kind of that trickery, that kind of deception that our minds can play on us, where you're kind of convincing yourself that, oh, it didn't quite work out, I should shift my focus somewhere else. Okay, so there's a lot of that stuff going on. And I don't know how accurate any of that is, how valid any of that is, right? The self-doubt, the talk, the kind of the critiquing your life plan, But I do know that you're in this kind of dilemma energetically right now. However you got here, this is where we are. Okay, so it seems to me like there's a choice of two life paths before you. Okay, at least two. But what we see crossing that, not to try to make a pun, but what we see covering that Two of Wands is this wonderful Wheel of Fortune, the Jupiter energy. This, I think, is going to be a sense of faith and hope and trust in yourself, in the process, in your kind of gut feelings, in your inspiration, in your spirit, right? And it's kind of that divine guidance that we look for with things like the signs, the symbols, the synchronicities. But I think that this is more than that. This is like the external world responding favorably. When you start to shift, the universe is going to respond, and that's going to encourage you. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining that too well. But once you start to move this fire energy in a different direction, you're going to see the world around you respond to that. Right? You're going to see some doors are going to open up. Some paths are going to be cleared. Some knowledge is going to, appear to you or become more deeply understood. That sort of thing. It's going to be a resonance, a harmony, a response from the universe to kind of give you a hint when you're on the right path, or maybe if you're leaning towards the wrong path, the universe will respond to you that way, and maybe some doors will be shut, or you won't be able to open some of them. Just little clues to kind of point you in the right direction, right? I think that's a lot of this Wheel of Fortune. This is a sense of synchronicity and really listening to the responses that are coming at you from the rest of the world, from the universe, right? That should point you in the right direction, or they should resonate when you're pointing yourself in the right direction. Does that resonate with you? What we see all of this leading to is really this death card. This is the immediate future. I think this is literally starting over from scratch, right? It could be that you're very established where you are in your life now, in your career, in your personal life, wherever you are kind of settled into things, okay? Could be you've been with this company for a long time, you've been in this relationship for a long time, you've maybe lived in this house for a long time. And making this shift, making this is going to be like starting over from scratch, right? Like just dismantling everything now and having to start over. Okay. And that's what I see in the immediate future. So it seems to me like the choice that you make, the direction that you lean towards, you get the response from the universe, that resonance, the synchronicity to tell you, okay, you got to lean deeper into that path. I think that's going to be kind of a scary thing. I think it's going to be like a death and rebirth. Okay, we've got the death card here, obviously. So there's going to be that a lot of work is coming your way in the future, right? To rebuild things, I think is no one wants to do that, right? I don't think, unless we get that resonance from the universe, from the world, that intuition, that kind of divine knowledge, the divine guidance, that synchronicity, right? That resonance that says, yes, keep going. This is the right direction. And then we can endure the hardships of this death and rebirth, right? And I think it's a more of a major kind of life-changing decision that or pivot or shift that you're involved in now. And I think it's going to have really far-reaching effects. Okay, so it's kind of one of those things. Well, it's better to start now because it's going to take a while, or you have to take the first steps. There's going to be some birth pains, some growing pains, but it is for your ultimate benefit in the long term. Okay. And I see what you're really trying to focus on is represented by this 4 of Swords. And this is a couple of things. I think this is a little bit of guilt over the just having this kind of impulse or this desire to shift, to pivot, to go in a different direction. I think that there's some kind of just mental stress related to that. And so your objective is kind of, right now, your ideal is just to kind of minimize the damage, I guess, right? Minimize the negative effects on other people or other areas of your life. If you do make this shift, who else is going to be affected? I think that kind of thinking is giving you a little bit of hesitancy, causing a little bit of doubt, a little bit of guilt, perhaps. Okay, so what you really want to do is be relieved of this sense of responsibility to others, right? It's almost like you know which way you should pivot, but your concern for other people is, or your concern for the effects that your decision will have on other people or other areas of your life is giving you a little bit of a pause. So you're kind of looking for a way out of that, I think. It seems like you're looking for permission, kind of. And I think that's coming by way of this Jupiter energy, this Wheel of Fortune. I think this is going to be the confirmation that you need, the permission that you need, right? So I think that major arcana is going to override some of these swords, some of this air energy. What we see beneath the surface, I think, is a real passion, a real eagerness to get started with this kind of rebuilding, right, with this starting over kind of thing. This is the Princess of Wands. This is a new passion. This is your heart and soul, your energy, right, your strength and power, your enthusiasm, your excitement to really start the physical work, to start to, like pack your boxes or to get on the road. This is a real sense of wanting to do the practical side of things, right? To really get things moving, get things started in the practical way. And this is that excitement, that energy, that real passion, I think, that you feel on an unconscious level. Okay, and it could be manifesting as worry, as anxiety, and that sort of thing, especially with these swords that we see. Okay, but I think underneath it all, you've just got this real sense of like readiness, of enthusiasm, of just energy and strength, and you're ready to go. You're ready to start putting things in motion. Okay, because the princess is still the beginning stages. It's that fiery energy that is still in its infancy. It has yet to really complete all the work. It's just starting the work. So you're really eager to set out and get started with this. I think with this rebuilding, with this pivot, with this shift, with this kind of death and rebirth. Okay, so on an unconscious level, you're really itching to go. But consciously, I think we're dealing with all of this swords energy. this kind of just wanting the permission, wanting to be relieved of any kind of this guilt or sense of responsibility. But now as we shift over to the path of the serpent, we're going to deal with that a little bit more. Okay. The first thing we see, general energy, Eight of Swords. This is, again, that kind of, this is really the complexity of the situation. Okay, this is like your general energy is really trying to work through all of this complexity. It's just a tangled web of connections, responsibilities, consequences, all the moving parts that are involved with this. And it's not just about you and about your life. There's other people, there's other energies involved, right? It's kind of like the butterfly effect a little bit. You're not really sure how your actions right now in the moment are going to affect everything else in the universe. And I think that's why you need this Jupiter energy to give you the confirmation, this harmony and this resonance and synchronicity. When you're on the right track, you'll get a sense of that. You'll get a feeling of that from the universe, right? And I know we're sounding a little mystical here, but I think you know what I mean. So your general energy now is wrapped up in this sword stuff. And the problem with this Eight of Swords is that it's going to prevent you from moving. I like the Rider-Waite-Smith Eight of Swords because it shows someone who is, blindfolded and bound, and they have this feeling like they can't move, they can't escape, they can't move forward. They're stuck here, right? They're imprisoned here. But they don't know that they have all of these really sharp objects around them that they could free themselves with, or they could kind of stumble around blindfolded and bound and cut themselves on all of these swords that are around them, these sharp objects. So it's really, this idea of not just trying to blindly grope our way through this complexity, but to use that complexity, right? Use our own mental efforts to free ourselves, to remove the blindfold, to see things clearly, and just kind of cut our way out. And that's taking some of this air energy and focusing it on an Ace of Swords kind of thing, where you just hold on to your will, hold on to your intention. You cut away the complexity, try to simplify things, and that might create a more clear path forward. Okay. So the Eight of Swords, a lot of complexity, and the risk of really being trapped in that complexity, trapped in that self-doubt, trapped in that web of thinking and the repeating patterns, and not being able to move forward. Okay. And then to play off of that, what do we have? Hanged Man energy. I think, again, this is that feeling of guilt or of responsibility for everyone else or for the consequences of your actions. If you pivot, there's going to be that sense of guilt and like you are doing a disservice to everyone else. So the Hanged Man here is kind of one saying that you are suspended. It's almost like the Hanged Man is kind of tangled up in this Eight of Swords web. Not moving, not making a decision, not going forward. Okay. And also suspending their own redemption in a way, their own like progress, their own dip into the waters, right? So it's almost a sacrifice of your destiny, sacrifice of your death and rebirth, sacrifice of the fire energy, for the sake of everyone else, right? So everyone else doesn't have to be inconvenienced by your choices, And that sounds a little silly as I'm saying it, but I think that's where we're at with the feeling of guilt or the feeling of responsibility. Okay, and I think that's part of the web here, like we said, and the thinking that it's better for you not to make this major decision in your life because of how everyone else will feel or react, how it will affect or influence them. Regardless of what you feel and what you know is right, what you feel in your heart and your spirit, the harmony and synchronicity that you experience from the universe, from that Jupiter energy, despite all of that, there's still this sense of guilt, right? Of having to sacrifice yourself for everyone else, for the greater good. Okay? And I think this is maybe not how you're consciously looking at it, but I think this is the nature and dynamic of your relationships with the other people involved in your life, the other people whom you don't know will be affected by your choice, right? The kind of unknown consequences of your actions, of your choices. But consciously, I think you're wrapped up in the 4, and double the 4, we've got the 8. So it's that kind of deeper descent into complexity, into that tangled mess of just so much thought, so much trying to reason with ourselves that we're not moving, we're not acting, we're just kind of building ourselves this cocoon around us, this just tangled web. The next card now is in the fear, concerns, worries position. Okay, and another major arcana card, the Fool card. So this is, again, this kind of same train of thought, the same thread that we're tracing here. This is the fear of the unknown consequences of your actions, of your decisions, of this shift or pivot, right? There are a lot of risks involved here, right? You can try to heed the resonance, the harmony, the signs and symbols and omens and things from the universe, from the world around you, responding either positively or negatively to the choices that you make to kind of help guide you, But that's still not a guarantee. That's still not the foresight to really see every aspect, every consequence, every effect of this pivot, this shift, this death and rebirth. And a lot of this is the fear of the unknown as well, And the Fool energy is pure air. So it's similar in a way to the Jupiter energy. The Jupiter energy is airy and expansive. It's full of optimism and faith and hope and trust, right? Trust is a big one. We have to trust that Jupiter energy, that it knows what is best and it's not going to steer us clear, or not steer us wrong. Even if the path isn't so clear to us, even if it looks like we're headed towards danger, we have to trust in that energy that it's not going to steer us wrong, right? It's not going to point us in the wrong direction. With the Fool doesn't have that reassurance. The Fool is that expansive energy, taking in new experiences, just outwardly, just indiscriminately, rather carelessly, not thinking of consequences. So this is that unknown. This is just the kind of naive energy in a way, that kind of innocent and childlike energy that just sees something that they want, something that excites them, something that sparks their sense of adventure, their curiosity, and they run straight toward it, right? But they don't know the danger. There's no one, that Jupiter energy isn't always there, at least with the Fool. In your case, I think it is. But that Jupiter energy isn't always there to say, hey, don't run in the street, or don't go that direction because there's danger that way. Let's take a different route. But in your case, you have both the Fool and the Jupiter energy. So I think it's okay to be a little bit enthusiastic, right? To embrace your sense of adventure, your curiosity, this enthusiasm. But I think that's the kind of fear. The fear is that you're going to run out into the street and there's going to be no one there to tell you, hey, a car's coming. And I don't mean a literal person that you need some kind of guidance, that you're somehow not capable of directing your own life or foreseeing consequences. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying in everyone's life there are choices that we make day to day that we don't understand the far-reaching effects of. Okay, and that's what I mean with the Jupiter, or with the Fool energy and with the Jupiter energy. Okay, it comes as an inner certainty. It comes as a resonance from the outer world that tells us, I think, that we're doing the right thing, that we're on the right path. It may not feel like it in the moment because it's a struggle, but we have that certainty, that intuition, that divine knowledge, that kind of Jupiter care, that Jupiter grace, and we have trust in that, right? So I'm not saying that you're incapable and that you need someone to hold your hand. That's not what I'm saying. So I don't want to see that in the comments, because that's not what I'm saying here at all. But I'm saying that there is this concern for the unknown variables, the unknown consequences, right? Moving forward with too much enthusiasm, too much excitement is potentially going to be a dangerous thing. Okay, but again, you've got that Jupiter energy to kind of be like that, you know, the crossing guard in a sense. I don't know why I'm using that kind of analogy, but because the Jupiter has that kind of paternal energy to it, right? Where it can kind of see the consequences. It knows kind of the best route around. It knows kind of where we're going and the best way to get there to avoid the most danger, right? Whereas the Fool is kind of like the child. The Fool doesn't really, just wants what it wants, is excited, enthusiastic, has this curiosity and this energy, but doesn't always know that there's danger as soon as they take that step. Okay. So that's your fears, worries, concerns. I think that is, I feel like it's rectified by that Jupiter energy. Anyway, the next card that we see is this Five of Wands. Now, this is an extension of the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is this initial kind of conflict, this questioning, this decision, this choice, this kind of impulse to pivot or shift your life. And what we said just now with the Fool and with Jupiter, it's going to be a struggle. It feels like a struggle right now, but it's that faith, hope, and trust in the Wheel of Fortune, in the Jupiter energy, that's going to assure you, that should give you at least a little bit of confidence that you're headed in the right direction, right? That resonance, those signs and symbols. But right now, yeah, I think it is, when you take the first step, this first foolish step, I think it is going to be a challenge. I think there is going to be a lot of struggle, you know, because it's a death and rebirth process. It's not going to be easy. I said already there's going to be the birth pains, the growing pains. And that's the Five. That's the struggle. That's you really having to accept each challenge as it comes along, knowing that the long-term benefits are positive, that they are harmonious with your will, with the flow of energy in your life, right? Whatever you want to call that, fate, destiny, if you want to just call it, being in harmony with the universal mind or whatever, the divine will, whatever you want to call it. But right now, in the moment, there's going to be struggle, and then reprieve, and then struggle, and then reprieve. But you're headed in the right direction, and you will know that because of this inner certainty, this resonance, this harmony, this kind of, the red light or the green light that the universe will give you. And I believe in that. I believe in that very strongly. We're going to take a look now at this confirmation card because I want to know what that is. Is this going to be something like a 10 or a 9 of discs, showing that we are bringing all of this down to the earth plane and getting grounded in this energy today? Is this going to be another major arcana? Could be the universe or world card. It could be the Empress, maybe the Emperor, showing your kind of control and authority over this fiery energy, right? Really getting a handle on it, making the executive decisions to do the right thing despite all of this air energy, But let's just stop teasing it. Let's find out what this is. Yeah, okay, Empress. That was a fairly accurate call, I think. This is, long-term success and pleasure and joy and satisfaction, a lot of productivity, a lot of really seeing the tangible results. It's this Empress energy, and this is from the ancient Italian tarot. That is just a beautiful, beautiful card. I love this. I love this tarot deck. And so this is the confirmation that, yes, look, all of this energy, all of your efforts, if you're going in the right direction, you feel that resonance, that harmony, you have that trust, you take these steps, you do these, you keep overcoming the challenges in your life, you're going to produce some tremendous, amazing results. And this card is, it's all about that Venus energy, right? But this card really responds well to the fire energy, like if we had that Emperor, And I think maybe in the extended or maybe next week we'll see some of that Emperor energy come out. But the Empress, what we have here, this confirmation, really responds well to this fiery energy. It's the perfect complement to that. So if you take control of this fiery energy, you're going to be producing a lot of physical, tangible results. It's not quite an earth card, right? Not quite an earth card, but the Empress in some ways is the Earth plane, right? It is like Mother Earth. It is the three-dimensional world. And there's going to be a lot of activity there, a lot of productivity, a lot of tangible results. Okay, so this is that confirmation that we need. This is like, you know, you've put your faith, hope, and trust in Jupiter, and you're going to get a little Venus at the end. So I think it is a terrific confirmation. We're going to take a look a little bit in the extended, just to see if there's anything else that we can, if we can see if that Emperor pops up, right? If you want to become a member to the channel, you can click on the link in the description box, and that will allow you access to all of the extended readings. I also do personal readings. You can get the information for those in the description box as well. This was your weekly tarot reading for December 25th through 31st here on Dove and Serpent Tarot, and I thank you so much.